Are you a different animal and the same beast?
All aboard! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all ages, I am Beast Mikey. You've now arrived in my train of thought. Who would have thought that a question from one of my favorite athletes' greatest rivals would actually be the catalyst to what last year was for me? And since this is September 16th, it happens to be my birthday, I'm going to do something that I am kind of guilty of not doing, and I'm going to stop and kind of reflect and smell the roses, if you will. So, 36. What was that like for me? Well, to be honest, I kind of laid low. I didn't really do too much. I didn't really go crazy on some expansive, extreme type of adventure, I guess. And honestly, for me, that's okay. And I think it allowed me to kind of reflect and think about some things and also kind of better myself in a way. I'll get to that in a little bit. It doesn't mean I was a complete shut-in, because I did do a couple of activities, such as the yearly venture to the auto show. Now, it was a little disappointing that it wasn't as expansive as it normally was, but it's something that I have to do every year because it's family business. It's something that my dad and I used to do before I went to Penn State, and I will continue to do because I enjoy looking at what's next and what's coming and new technology, things of that nature. If I ever really got serious about the whole driving thing, it would absolutely be an electric car. I am not getting a gas-powered vehicle. I guess the BP oil spill kind of rents permanent space in my brain, so I'm just going to go fully electric if I ever do go the car route. I'm perfectly fine with a scooter, but if I ever do go the car route, it's going to be an electric one. Maybe one of these here, or other ones that are currently on the road. A Tesla? Maybe not, but we'll see how this goes. I also went to the Chinese festival that was at Franklin Square in August. I thought that was a really fun time. I thought it was a lot of great stuff. This dragon swing was super cool. This kind of like dragonfly type of swing was super cool. And as one who's born in the year of the dragon, a picture like this, and then a picture of a longer dragon, also not a bad thing. So I really did have a good time, and I thought it was a really nice thing to see. That was very different from what I would normally do. Of course, I have to have some sports in this, right? And getting to a couple of games, both Phillies Mets, one in each ballpark. The home teams won both games and both series that I attended. Okay, cool, that's fine. On the latter one, the former one was way more fun. But the latter one, I will say, it was quite an interesting few weeks where I talked to Phillies fans after the game, after we got dominated by McLean, and said, we're going to be okay, we'll see them in 2 weeks. Lo and behold, not only do we see them in 2 weeks, we sweep them in 2 weeks, and 2.5 weeks later, matter of fact, earlier today, we won the NL East yet again, and there's going to be more Red October in a couple of weeks. And so much so that Madison Square Garden decided to acknowledge the Phillies, if you will, for their success. Okay, maybe I'm kidding about that last one, but this picture just makes a good amount of sense. I just wanted to add that in there. But the big thing that happened this past year for me actually was inspired by my dad and, of course, the Kobe quote. And one thing that my dad just taught me, he taught me many things, but one thing that he was always generally in shape. He always worked out. He always tried to encourage me to do the same and get into better shape. And though I did, I will honestly say I didn't go as hard as I probably could have. And yet, this time last year, I was still kind of doing that. I kind of procrastinated a bit when it came to actually starting going to the gym more often, or going to the gym at all, to be truthful. I went at Penn State, but I hadn't really gone since. And I think it was time to give it a shot and see what I could do with it and challenge myself when it comes to actually doing workouts. So I can't believe it's 5 years that Dad hasn't been here, and it's heartbreaking and will always be. But thank you for the advice. And I know you're up there with the family that's no longer here. I know you're enjoying yourselves in paradise. We all miss you. We all love you. We love all of you. But the venture led me to Planet Fitness, and it led me to kind of see what I can do with machines such as this. All these cardio machines that you may see here. They are evil, and they are vicious, and they are vile, and they are somewhat intimidating, yet they're all very worth using. And I tend to use them all a lot. I tend to use the treadmill a lot as well, and adding that with the physical strength that I try to continue to keep going with, it's worked out tremendously well for me. And to go from where I was when I started around 365 in terms of pounds, I'm now down to 284, and maybe even lighter than that. I haven't weighed myself in a couple of days. But the point is, it's the fact that it's working so well, and the fact that I see noticeable change is very flattering for me. When I got to under 300, and I did this on my youngest sister's birthday in July, it hit different. And honest to goodness, hit different. And it's the fact that it's noticeable change. I notice it when I sleep. I notice it when I move around. I notice it when I ride my scooter. I am so much faster starting it as opposed to when I started this back in October. And I noticed it in my clothing. Like the sweatpants I bought right before I started, I now have to fight to keep them up. It's a wild thing for me. And I'm very humbled that even with all the success I've had with it. And I know I should probably update with more photos of myself. And aside from the Dragonfly one, that's actually a more recent one. But there will be a time for that. And when I do, then I guess you'll all see some sort of a change, I guess, and compared to what I've been. So once again, Dad, thank you for the suggestion and the advice and maybe the inspiration to nudge me into the gym and allow me to just go for it and just go and attack and go until I can't go anymore. And that's really worked wonders for me. And I'm going to keep going, of course, because I think there's more that I can do with it. But I'm very happy that I've been able to start this and see noticeable change in 11 months. Obviously, some of you may have heard that I do some podcasts, of course. I've kept up with those from PSU Gurus, which we do every Thursday. You can find those in Apple Podcasts. We're going to obviously drop one this week during the bye week. It's still real to me. There's going to be more stuff coming from that. We're not done with that, by the way, not by a long shot. We're going to try to do something for WrestlePalooza this weekend, so look out for that on Twitter and all that good stuff. We're going to do more stuff. We got plenty more coming, so just keep a lookout for that. We'll update accordingly. And I guess the other question would be, for me personally, what's next? And there are some things I'd love to do. I'd love to get a laptop, and I think it's one thing I'm going to try to do. And it's going to be for several reasons. One, of course, for the podcasting, that's going to work. And for the videos that I do, which will obviously provide better quality, that's going to obviously do better. And I think the biggest thing will be to try to learn a new skill with it. And if I can maybe actually take time to learn a more skill in terms of technology, because I am a fan of it. I just have to be more, I guess, stubborn about learning it and just sit down and actually apply it. Where could I take it? We'll see. And of course, the other thing with being a goal that I had last year, and Findependence Hall, and doing all of that, and kind of seeing other Dolphin fans in the area, and us congregating, and maybe even commiserating based off of what's happened the last couple of weeks, together at a place in this area. I know Slattery's up in New York is awesome. Obviously, being there is cool. I'm going to go back there before the season ends, no question. But there was one thing I learned recently. It's that there are more Dolphin fans here than even I knew about, and even I kind of expected to find out. How do I know this? Well, I went to Angelo's last week, and I tried their cheesesteak. It is a very big cheesesteak. I noticed that. It's a nice size cheesesteak, no question. But the other thing I kind of noticed is I was wearing Dolphins gear and talking about the game with the Colts with other fans. I noticed that there are some Dolphin fans here that aren't online per se, or that I don't know that are online. And I think this would be an opportunity to take advantage of that. And I want to see, if possible, can we do that? So one goal of mine, especially while this season's going on, is to try to find a Findependence Hall and see if I can genuinely connect with other Dolphin fans I don't know. Dolphin fans that I've known online and would love to meet in person, and everybody else in between who generally loves the aqua and orange. Like I said in my video when I suggested the idea, it was to connect everyone in the tri-state area who loves the Dolphins but can't quite get down to Hard Rock, or won't go to New York for Slattery's, or won't go to DC for whatever Dolphin bars are down there. I want to see if we can connect here. And I want to see if we can connect ideally in the city, but we'll see. And we'll see how this goes. Anyway, as for me, and coming up for what's going on in this channel, power rankings, you already know, are coming tomorrow. Unfortunately, the Dolphins will be in zombie tier. That kind of stings, but it's the truth. It must be said. And I'm going to talk about the other 31 teams as well. Where does your team rank? How good are they? How bad are they through 2 weeks? Is your season effectively over? We will see. Looking at you, Bengals. But I'm going to talk about all the 31 teams coming up power rankings tomorrow. Of course, the picks are coming on Thursday. You can check that out when I send the links. And obviously, they'll be on the Sports Lounge page. And link will come from that when I finish. Thank you for all the kind words and the birthday wishes. They were really cool to read. And I hope I got to all of you. If I didn't, I will. I appreciate all your kind words and kind thoughts. And if your birthday already happened, I hope you enjoyed it. If your birthday is coming, I hope you do enjoy it. May everyone find peace and bring peace, whether it is inner or outer. I hope we are all very peaceful, harmonious people, especially considering what has happened recently over the last few weeks. I hope everyone is peaceful and harmonious towards each other. Thank you for listening and watching all of my content over the last few years, and I hope to do better and hope to do more as we continue to grow and continue to add more passengers to my train of thoughts. And the next stop will be the Fulton, Kentucky version of the zombie tier when I get to my power rankings. Thank you for listening. Love you all.